This is an orthokeratology patient who's worn lenses for a little while now and is getting consistent problems with glare at night. It's not really getting any better and very distracting when driving. So we're looking at the posterior topographies, and similar to before, it looks like both lenses are sitting a little bit low. And if I bring up a lens design, I believe this is what we're working off of. For the left eye, we had added a little bit of topo demand to the lens and then reduced the sagittal depth of the lens a little bit to bring hopefully to bring the lens a little bit higher, but it still looks like it rides a little bit low. That said, I'm not sure centering this lens is going to solve all the patient's problems because it's fairly well centered. Um, the patient might have pretty big pupils at nighttime and just getting into the entire treatment zone all the way around. So we want to make the treatment zone bigger. Two things that we can do. One is to add asphericity to the lens, and another one is to obviously enlarge the OZ and IC again. I'm not sure how comfortable you are switching to a semiscleral design, but I have found that with a semiscleral design, we really maintain centration, and that allows us to make the OZ and IC fairly large without worrying that the lens is going to decenter and cause other problems. So I think the smaller step into getting a larger treatment zone is to add asphericity to the lens, and so we do that down here in the shape factor, and I kind of as a default go to plus 20. First thing we want to do though is make note of our demand, which is 6.9, because once we add asphericity to the lens, it's going to change our demand. It's also going to change our power. We can't really rely on power anymore because of an aspheric lens. The average power over the central, however many millimeters of lens is going to be weird. So we have to go by total demand, which was originally 6.9. So right now we're a little bit above that. We need to bring our demand down. So let's go ahead and do that. And it looks like we're straddling 6.9 by 0.04 on either side right now. So I will also go to 25% mode and check the other meridians. So right now at approximately 6.9 demand in the horizontal meridian, we're at a power of minus 0.84, and now we're at 78, so we can probably make that a little bit closer. Minus power, so we got to go the other way. That's pretty good. That's good. We might be able to get that closer. That's good. All right, so now we're pretty uniform. And in 100% mode, let's see if we can get even closer to 6.9. Nope. Okay, so it's either 694 or 686, so I'm going to leave it where it is now. And if I bring up the lens that we started with, you can see where we've kind of pushed the slope of the graph back where it crosses the 20 micron line instead of in front of the pupil, right at the pupil. And so hopefully this will give us a little bit more room in the treatment zone of the lens and give the patient a little bit more relief from nighttime glare and halos. As far as positioning of the lens, it is possible to decrease the sagittal depth even more to see if we can get this lens to settle a little bit higher. We're at about 5 microns or 4 microns more shallow, originally just from adding the asphericity and making our changes to the topo demand. So I think a reasonable target is anywhere from 10 to 15 microns. Since we already made a previous change, we did help. 10 to 15 microns, I think, is a significant change, but if we're really going to try to affect something, then we can definitely do that. So 1956 will be 1946 will be our new target. And I kind of split the difference between the IC and the bevel. So now we have a lens that looks like it bears real heavily centrally. The way I like to think of it is we're not necessarily bearing more centrally, we're just bearing less peripherally. And hopefully that lens will tuck up a little bit higher, center better, and then the treatment zone will be bigger. The other option, like I mentioned earlier, is to go to a semi-scleral design where you can push the OC and IZ way out and maybe even add asphericity to that. That's getting really aggressive with the lens, and I personally haven't done it very much. It's sometimes also helpful to have the patient use a little bit of Alphagan before driving to cause a little pupil miosis. And I found that works really well, actually. So those are my thoughts in terms of adding asphericity for a larger optic zone, and then reducing the sagittal depth even more so that we can possibly get this lens to ride a little bit higher. So best of luck, and thanks for watching.